2001 X5 4.4 liter. Did the timing chain guides, cleaned everything up. At least it's all nice now. And man, there was a hell of an oil leak on this thing. Anyways, got it all back together. Put water in it. Glad I did that instead of coolant. And not only had my water pump gasket, not that one, that's a new one. The water pump gasket that came with this thing was pretty cheap, but when I put it on, somehow the bottom shifted on me. I should have known because it took some force to get the damn bolts through, and I just kind of gorillaed them in there. My fault, the damn gasket leaked as soon as I put water in it. So this morning, put the new gasket on. That's one I got from Napa. Put everything back together, putting water in it. That held, and then she started just dumping water out of the back of the engine, which I knew immediately was this valley pan gasket that I resealed. Well, obviously I didn't do a good enough freaking job. Ended up using the factory string piece of shit here, which is no longer on there. That's what goes around it. The hell with that thing, man. It ended up walking out in two places on me. I did the proper torque spec and everything on it, and yeah, it was leaking really bad. Not just a drop, it was gushing. So anyway, ripped it all back apart completely again. Just pulled the water pump back enough to be able to get the crossover tubes out. I really didn't want to rip the piece on the back off because I didn't remove it the first time I did this, and I just had the water pump off, so knew how to do it real quick. It's like my fourth time doing this. So anyway, it's really easy to just pull it back, do it that way. But if you are doing a valley pan gasket, strongly urge, this came from another guy on YouTube, to discard the little string gasket and make your own gasket out of the black RTV. So the Permatex Ultra Black, this stuff. And just lay down a nice bead, set it down gently, and finger tighten the bolts, and leave it for 24 hours for that gasket to set. So this is going to save me time from having to order a new valley pan gasket, which comes with this whole new aluminum piece, a new top cover, which there's absolutely nothing wrong with either of those. But it's the only way you can get a gasket because it's kind of glued on. And yeah, there's no reason for a whole new one. Mine's in perfect condition, it just needs to be sealed. So anyway, the guy said 5 years ago that he did this. He's done 4 of them. I forget his name, I'd mention him. But thanks. I did comment on your video, so thank you for that. I really hope this works, because I was hoping to have this thing running for my wife today, and it's not. She's ripped all apart again. So yeah, tomorrow I'll tighten those down to the 11 foot-pounds that it calls for, and toss this whole thing back together again, which I'm getting pretty efficient at. Alright guys, thanks. One more comment, I guess. When you're putting these I guess you'd call them the wire cases, holds all your injector wires and all that kind of shit. When you're putting those back on, I'm not putting all those stupid little clips back in these. They're bolted down to the fuel rail, which is bolted to the intake, so they're not going anywhere. They'll be perfectly fine without putting all those little clips back in. I don't even know how you would do it, so I'm not going to bother. I had it running. She's running perfectly smooth with the new timing. Everything's good, and yes, I did use the eBay timing tool. So we'll see. We'll see. No check engine lights as of yet, but with no coolant in it, I didn't run it for very long. So that's it. That's my progress on this thing. Bought it for $1,000 with a known timing chain thing, and this kind of shit you got to deal with. Also painted the valve covers. So That's what they look like. They're kind of dirty now. Greasy ass hands been all over it. Well, that's it. Oh shit, another thing to add. The holes in the back there for your crossover tube, same as in the water pump, all these little guys. Another thing I highly encourage is getting the O-ring set and putting all new O-rings in all your water fittings here. So see, dark plastic, and then that little shiny piece, and there's your O-ring, and that's what actually seals against basically this edge here, or the surface. So replace all those. It's the one place I didn't have a leak. So yeah, that's what I got for tips if you're taking your 4.4 liter down this far. Alright, good luck guys.